Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we will be big box store plant shopping at the Home Depot. Please make sure you are hitting the like button and subscribing to my channel for 1 hour plant shopping videos daily, as well as connecting with me on Instagram at Grow Folds. But tonight is a special plant shopping episode just because I will be doing plant shopping at night. It is a little bit easier to do plant shopping because there's less of a crowd and I'm able to take my time to show you guys all of the plants. As always, thank you to all of those that have always tuned into my live premiere chats. And if you are watching this video during a live premiere, please make sure you are saying hello to us on the chat. But as you guys can see here, I am just checking out this Home Depot, and they have a bunch of those proven winners hydroponic bowls here. This one is an Anthurium flamingo. Really love the Anthurium, and I actually grow my blooming Anthuriums in water as well. I find that hydroponics really works out for certain plants. Now with Anthuriums, they do need bright indirect light. And then over here we have another hydroponic situation. This one is a Dracaena. Notice that the water is a little bit cloudy. This is that Leaf Joy H2O bowl. This is a Dracaena Green Jewel. Love Dracaena, super underrated plant. They are very easy to take care of because they can tolerate really low light conditions. And then right over here we have an Epipremnum aureum Summer Night. Now all of these bowls are for $19.98. A little bit pricey for hydroponics. I think that if you do a DIY, it's a lot cheaper for you to actually have a growing setup like this. But it's interesting how Proven Winners calls their plants a little bit differently. This is actually just a typical golden pothos. It's not as variegated, but one of the easiest plants to take care of. And now I'm just gonna walk around here and show you guys some other plants. And for my plant foldies, those that are new to my channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. As always, make sure you are hitting that like button. Our community is growing substantially fast, and it's because of your efforts to really get my content pushed out there. So really appreciate that. As you guys can see here, Epipremnum aureum Marble Queen Pothos. Now this is by Nature's Way, and this one is in a ceramic planter for $8.98. It's not a bad price at all. And then this calathea here, which its actual name escapes my mind right now, but it looks like a greener version of a calathea of orbifolia. So for those that know the plant ID, please leave that in the comments with a timestamp or on the live premiere chat so I can be familiar with the plant ID. And let's take a look at this right here. We have another golden pothos, Epipremnum aureum golden pothos. I love the Vigoro planters that they have here. This one is for $14.98 in a 6-inch starter planter. Really love a golden pothos. It was one of my first houseplants as I've ever really grown indoors. Actually, my first houseplant was a Syngonium white butterfly. And then right over here is a Hoya carnosa. Really love Hoyas as well. This one is for $14.98, again by Vigoro. Vigoro really supplies Home Depot with a lot of plants, and I love the fact that most of their plants are pretty much very, I would say, cost effective in terms of what other plant pricing you see. Now we are looking at an absolutely stunning Aglaonema Silver Bay for $14.98 by Vigoro. Really love aglaonemas. Aglaonemas are some of my favorite plants to grow just because they're very easy to take care of. They can tolerate lower light conditions. They can be underwater, which means that you may not necessarily have to water them, and they are forgiving plants. They actually like to be on the drier side. And then over here, we've got another type of Syngonium. I'm not sure what this Syngonium is. This one is also by Vigoro for $14.98. This is a really nice full plant of Syngonium. There's several plants in there. Syngoniums do like more bright indirect light. When you put them in a lower light condition, they get a little bit leggy. And the one thing I will say about Syngoniums is if you do not stay consistent with the watering, their leaves start to really decline and start to crisp up. So that's another thing that I recently learned about Syngoniums. They're not as forgiving about being underwatered. You really have to stay on top of the watering. When you don't water them and their health starts to decline, they really become susceptible to spider mites, and that's that's another issue that I have with syngoniums. Although syngoniums in general are an easy care for plant, they are very easy to propagate. You can propagate through cuttings, and you can get a bunch of free plants. And I've been talking a lot about that with my daily plant shopping videos. So if you've been following me for the last couple of weeks or the last couple of months, you know that I love talking about propagation and just getting free plants. And you know, this is another candidate. For instance, this Epipremnum aureum marble queen pothos. This one would be a good candidate to get a couple of cuttings from as well. Once it starts to really trail, pothos plants root very easily in water, and that's another thing on how you can grow your plant collection. You don't necessarily have to buy a bunch of plants. You can just multiply the current plants you have. I have been doing that as of late, specifically with coleus plants, and that's the thing. I just get these obsessions where there's a specific plant genus, and all of a sudden I just want to get all of the different types of plants in that genus, and right now it is the coleus plant. But you know, more on that if I actually find coleus at this Home Depot. But you can see all of the plants we are now going to be looking at are proven winner plants. Now these ones again are in their little starter planters. Most of them are going to be for $5.98. So these are the proven winners little leaf joy ones. These ones are the spider plants, for instance. This one is for $5.98. I don't have a spider plant. Spider plants are super cute though, just because they shoot out little babies that you can propagate as well. And then here is another syngonium, a really cute syngonium. This one again is very compact. I love the red veining on it, and with syngoniums, they are pretty vigorous growers. The more bright indirect light you give it, the faster it's going to grow, and the more cuttings you can take for propagations. There is a couple of syngoniums that I have there. Pretty rare. This one is Syngonium Ruby Rain, and this one is also for $5.98. It's a little bit pricey for syngonium, especially at this size, but again, with syngoniums, once they start to size up in their leaves and grow, you can pretty much multiply them very quickly. And then over here we have another Hoya. Now I don't have as many Hoya in my plant collection. I have about 3 of them. I've got a Hoya carnosa Crimson Princess, a Hoya carnosa Crimson Queen, and a variegated Hoya Carrii, which I found, believe it or not, at a grocery store called Kroger. So it's just really interesting that whenever you go plant shopping, you never really know what plants you'll find. So who knows if I'll find some plant that I wasn't expecting to find. Typically, you will see a lot of the same plants at big box stores, especially these proven winner plants, for instance. They pretty much have the same plants, but needless to say, even if they are the same plants that we're looking at, I still love showing you guys all of these plants. So I really hope that you guys continue to watch my plant shopping videos, because it's kind of cool to hang out at least during the live premiere chats, or if you just want to hear me talk about plants and my plant insights, definitely keep watching my videos. And over here again, we have a Hoya Wyetii. Thank you for the plant foldy that actually gave me some more insights. I did not know a Hoya Wyetii is actually endemic, and it is a native to my home country, which is the Philippines. That's where my family is from. And then over here we've got another Peperomia Golden. Beautiful variegation on this Peperomia, very easy to take care of as well. This one again is for $5.98 by proven winners. And then I'm going to pull out this Fittonia right here. This is by proven winners, also for $5.98. And you can see that this Fittonia has some beautiful pink red veining, and it's actually blooming there. Now, whenever you see blooms on a plant, specifically that's really being grown for its foliage, I would suggest actually cutting the blooms. The reason being is when a plant produces blooms, it actually exerts a lot of energy into producing the blooms versus the actual foliage, which is what you want actually more so of. So that's what I would do with any of the plants that start to bloom, unless it's specifically a plant that you are growing for its blooms, if that makes any sense. And then over here we've got a beautiful Peperomia obtusifolia, just a green variety. It does give me that Hoya vibe just because it has more of like a waxy leaf texture, and I just love how it's just a deep green color. And then we're going to keep looking at some more plants here. What else do we have here? We've got some more Peperomia. Love that a lot. That looks really nice as well. Again, it's got some really nice variegation. It really depends. Some people are really into variegated plants. If you ask me, I do gravitate more so to variegated plants, but I also love just really nice green plants like this one right here. I think green plants obviously are a little bit more easier to take care of in terms of the variegated counterparts, just because there's more chlorophyll for the plant, which makes it more vigorous. Now, I want to show you this right here. So this is an Alocasia calculata by Proven Winners. This is for $28.98. I found some variegated sport Alocasia calculata at another Home Depot. Now you can see that this one is definitely not sport variegated. It is green, but I do like the fact that these leaves are a little bit smaller. Mine are a little bit larger, and actually when I repotted it, I was able to find some more corms. So I actually planted it to see if I can multiply my Alocasia variegated sport calculata. That was a tongue, a mouthful. So anyways, this one is another type of succulent type plant by Proven Winners. This is also for $5.98. And I love Proven Winner plants. I think Proven Winner plants, especially their coleus line, the Color Blaze line, is absolutely amazing. So this one right here looks to be either a sport variegated Alocasia calculata. Yeah, it looks like it has some variegation, but my only concern is I can see some of the leaves were yellowing. And with that being said, it could either be spider mites, which, it's kind of hard to tell, but this one does look like it is sport variegated, but you can see there's that one specific leaf that is extremely yellow. When you see yellowing like that, especially on an Alocasia, it could be thrifts or spider mites. So you just have to make sure to treat it. If you see that on your home, your Alocasias at home. But this is another favorite of mine. This is a Philodendron lemon lime. Really love the color of it. Now with this particular plant, you have to give it a lot of bright indirect light in order for it to really keep that yellow color. Otherwise it'll become a little bit more green versus just that beautiful yellow golden color. And then over here is another Tradescanthia. This one is called Feeling Flirty. Really love the delicate pink striping on that. I actually have one of those, but I got it for $5.98. I didn't end up buying that plant. This one is actually for $19.98. This is another Calathea, and my opinion on Calatheas are their foliage is beautiful, but their care, for me anyways, the requirements for me doesn't really make it worth for me to put them in my collection just because they're so finicky. And then right over here is a classic Philodendron Rojo Congo. Now this Philodendron can actually get fairly large. It is more of a mounding Philodendron, and it actually spreads versus it climbing up. I do like that Philodendron, and look at how beautiful the leaves are. That natural shine is absolutely stunning. And what else do we have here? So as you guys can see, I love plant shopping at night just because there's not many people here. And honestly, I try to dodge people whenever I do plant shopping videos, just for the, the decency of being respectful of somebody's personal space. I wouldn't want somebody filming me on YouTube and just putting me on YouTube if I'm just out and about. So it makes it a lot easier for me to just film at night. And then as you can see over here, we've got some gorgeous looking bromeliads. Those ones are for $29.98. And again, to my plant foldie in a previous video, thank you for giving me some insights about bromeliad care. And that's the thing about my plant shopping channel. I love learning from you guys as much as I like to give you guys some of my insights. I think this is a really good community that we're building. So I hope that we can continue to spread my videos and continue to grow our plant foldie community. That plant that I just picked up right there is a gorgeous pink kalanchoe. I have looked at so many kalanchoe, like kalanchoe and Phalaenopsis orchids and bromeliads are pretty much the same plants that I see on a daily basis. Definitely not complaining, because even looking at plants like this beautiful bromeliad, this pink is just really, fiery, and this one is for $18.98. Really good price as well. But to go back to just all of the plants that I see on a daily basis, I do plant shopping videos, and I'm literally in a big box store, a grocery store, some type of store that sells plants. And it's exciting to see how, you know, when you actually look at plants every day at like a big box store, for me, I don't get tired of looking at the same plants. I don't know if you are in the same boat as me, but just being able to look at plants brings me a sense of peace, a sense of calmness. It's almost like just therapy for anybody who may suffer from anxiety or just the stresses of life. So to go back to all of these plants that I'm looking at, even though I am featuring a lot of the same types of plants like this bromeliad right here, I do find it interesting that a lot of you guys also tune in on a daily basis just to look at these plants. If there are certain plants that you guys want to see, please make sure you do leave that in the comments. I'll do my very best to actually feature that. But as you can see over here, this is another blooming anthurium that I have. It's a common one that we see at a lot of big box stores. Now this one is really interesting. Notice that bloom right here, that's the flowering part, actually has some of the seeds. I would want to do my research to see if I could actually potentially harvest seeds from an anthurium and maybe even get them to sprout. In my previous video, I was showing you guys how I grew some coleus from seed. They are doing extremely well, and I'm about to actually put another set of seeds down just so I can multiply my plant collection. But as I pan over here, we've got a variety of different types of cactus and succulents, and that's another thing that you know, a couple of you guys have asked me is to feature more cactus and succulents. Now that is probably one of my weaker points when it comes to my knowledge of plants. I'm really not as versed with succulents and cactus. I know a little bit more on the other types of plants. So most of these plants, whenever I feature cactus and succulents, I'm not able to give you all of the plant IDs. All I can do is give you maybe some specific care tips for some of them, or just what my opinions are. But as you can see here, gorgeous looking cactus. Like, look at this one right here. This one has some really interesting texture, and this is by Smart Plants. Now I saw another YouTuber that was able to find some variegated string of hearts at a big box store called Walmart. So that would be something that I'm going to be searching for, on top of looking for that elusive Monstera Thai constellation by Costa Farms. Like, I'm really interested to see if I can find some at Walmart. But you know, I heard that Home Depot also would carry some Monstera Thai constellation. So that's the thing. If you are a local plant foldie or somebody that lives out in the North Dallas or Dallas-Fort Worth area, I would highly encourage you to subscribe to my channel, just because I literally am posting videos every day for at least an hour on some of the plant finds or the particular plants that are reaching the Dallas-Fort Worth market. Now this is one plant that I really despise, and that is the cosmic cactus. I think it's really tacky that they're just painting the cactus with some you know, bright colors. I don't really think that's good for the plant as well, just because the plant's surface is actually being covered and it needs to be able to get light to photosynthesize and feed itself. Now this is a specific kalanchoe that I find endearing. That is that chocolate soldier, really nice looking kalanchoe. And then we have a bunch of other succulents here. Now this succulent right here is actually in bloom. So whenever a plant actually is in bloom, that means that the growing conditions have been great enough and ideal enough for that plant to be happy to actually want to reproduce itself. So that's always a plus. The downside of a plant in bloom, however, is if you're growing it again for foliage or its leaves, it will actually stun the plant to where you want to cut the blooms off. But you can see here they've got these different types of succulents. I find these really interesting. They really do look like living rocks, and you know, that is something that eventually I will probably, I don't know, experiment and maybe do a cactus succulent type arrangement. But you can see there are several there, and then we've got even more plants right over here at Home Depot. I am actually enjoying being out by myself at Home Depot, just looking at these plants. Now I saw a couple of new proven winner releases. Like, I'm interested to see a Philodendron bilitiae released by proven winners. They've had some really good releases as far as Philodendron, as well as Ficus elastica. So this specific Ficus elastica, I have actually been interested in purchasing. This is the Chloe one. This one is for $19.98. And I really like that Ficus elastica or rubber tree plant because it's got very round leaves. And then all of these hydroponic plants. So this is the oyster plant here. This one's just a green form. I have the more variegated form that I found at Home Depot actually for a really inexpensive price. This one is for $19.98. I do feel like the hydroponics or these Leaf Joy H2O bowls are a little bit pricey. I feel like $19.98. I don't think a lot of people are actually buying this. I did buy 2 of these types of hydroponic Leaf Joy bowls though. The one was a Birkin and another one was another type of plant. I forget it just because I have so many plants that I've added into my houseplant collection that I'm actually not able to keep up with all of their names. I just literally find a beautiful plant like this. For instance, this is a bird's nest fern tornado. I mean, this is a plant that I am considering on buying, but that's the problem when you're actually going plant shopping is you want to buy all the plants. And you guys, I'm going to tell you, all you plant folies are such bad influences when it comes to me trying to, actually stay within my budget. People, I'll ask a question, should I buy the plant? And they're like, yes, absolutely. I think it's actually hilarious and I really love the engagement. And wow, okay, so this is really cool. I've already bought this plant from Home Depot. This is an Alocasia stingray. Really love the look of Alocasia stingray. And what I really like about Alocasia stingray is it also becomes a very large Alocasia. Now, I will admit I have, oh wow, that leaf is actually done. I will admit that I haven't been the best plant parent when it comes to my Alocasias. They are definitely a finicky plant. They require higher humidity and consistent watering, which is 2 factors in my growing conditions at my home that I am not as consistent with. Now, this is a chandelier ficus for $29.98. Another interesting looking ficus. Now, ficus plants in general, whether it's a Ficus elastica, a Ficus benjamina, this Ficus chandelier, just know that if you have a ficus, they need bright indirect light or lots of light in general. Like this Ficus elastica taniki, for instance, this one is for $29.98. I think that is a little bit more pricey. I would actually go to Trader Joe's because you can buy a Ficus elastica taniki this size for only $12.99. But I actually grow my Ficus elastica plants in full sun on the southern facing part of my lawn, and they are doing extremely well. They're actually growing much faster in full sun. So for those that say that, Ficus taniki needs to be in bright indirect light, you can actually put the Ficus taniki in full sun, at least in my experience, and it has done very well. And the leaves don't actually burn. If anything, the leaves get what they call sun stress. So you get these interesting variegation, like some pinks and just more edging on the leaves. But anyways, this is a philodendron I definitely want to buy at some point. This is a philodendron sun red. This one is for $19.98. Look at how gorgeous the new leaves come out. They've got like a brown color, a nice little caramel color. The leaves are shiny. This is one of those philodendron that doesn't need a totem pole to grow. It actually mounts and spreads instead and gets really large leaves. And there's just so many benefits for that plant to go into my plant collection. I've been trying to talk myself into actually just pulling the bullet and actually getting that plant, but it's something that I need to just hold off just a little bit. But as you pan over here, you can see we do have a lot of plants. The only critique I would say with like Home Depot is I really wish that they would actually merchandise their plants on like shelves, just like Lowe's. Lowe's has I would say Lowe's probably has the best plant merchandising out of all the big box stores I typically go to. But if like Home Depot would just merchandise their proven winner plants versus just keeping them on these shelves, I think that they would sell through more. And then you can see here, this is another anthurium right here. Look at that. There's a bunch of those seeds on that actual flower. So let me know in the comments, plant folies, or if you guys are familiar with harvesting anthurium seeds. Have you grown anthurium seeds? That would be so interesting to see if I could actually grow that. I am all about growing different types of plants. And today I am going to be featuring not only just these indoor tropical plants, but outdoor plants, flowering plants, succulents, you name it. If it's a plant, I'm going to try to get it on film. And then over here, we've got a beautiful calathea. Again, this one is a calathea medallion, I believe. This one is for $19.98. I do have a few calathea in my collection. One is actually all of my calatheas that are growing for me are in hydroponics. So basically I decided that calatheas are a finicky plant, and what makes them finicky is they need water, lots of water, at least not lots of water, but they need to stay moist. If you forget to water them for like a week, their leaves start to crisp up. But instead of just worrying about the watering conditions, I actually just put them in a bowl of water and put a little bit of like plant nutrients, and I haven't had any issues with my calatheas. They don't crisp up. I don't have to worry about watering them, and there's ambient humidity around the water. Obviously that keeps them, happy with the humidity levels. Anyways, I am now outside in the outdoor section of this Home Depot, and you can see that there is really nobody here shopping, which makes it so much easier for me to be able to go plant shopping today and just show you all the different types of plants that they have at this location. As you can see right here, it is pretty dark, but I'm so glad that I have a really good camera to film my videos. So I really hope you guys do like the quality of my videos in terms of it. I try to go film in 4K, so you have a little bit more higher resolution. But you can see here, we've got a lot of ground cover. I want to go show you this Acer palmatum, or this Japanese maple right here. I believe this is, yes, the red dragon. Now with the red dragon, it is a lace leaf maple, which makes it more susceptible to having its leaves crisp up with the hot Texas heat. Again, I am based out in North Dallas, so for those that are just finding my YouTube videos, all of my plant shopping videos are based mostly in North Dallas. I do plant shopping, plant tourism videos where I go to other plant nurseries and big box stores out of town. So there is a playlist for that. Definitely check it out. I have a bunch of like Austin, Texas, local plant nurseries that I really would highly recommend. Like definitely check out the Great Outdoors video. I also have the Tillery Street Corporation video with a really good plant blog about that. But anyways, all of the plants that I have over here, I do want to go feature like this one right here. Beautiful alocasia. I think this is an alocasia Regal Shields, not 100% sure, but look at how beautiful it looks. It's in a large Nature's Way planter, and then we have a bunch of these Calathea macoyanas. I actually have that same size Calathea. And then what else do we have here? Some more large foliage plants. And that's the thing. This one is a cast iron plant for $15.98. I don't really know a lot about a cast iron plant. So again, plant folies, if you know anything about that, or if you're growing a cast iron plant, please let me know the care tips, what that requires. And then over here, we've got a classic Monstera deliciosa. I have one that I really need to repot. I think I might repot my Monstera deliciosa tomorrow, since it is my day off on Tuesdays. And then over here for $14.98, again, another Vigoro plant. This one is an Alocasia poly. Now, I actually steer away from this particular Alocasia is because for some reason, Alocasia poly is more susceptible than the typical Alocasia, at least in my experience. And then over here, we've got another Epipremnum aureum jade pothos. This one is for $14.98, and you can see that that is just a deep green color. Very vigorous grower, especially this pothos right here. You can multiply this pothos in no time once it starts to shoot out a bunch of like trailing vines. And as I pan over here, there's just a lot of plants. I do love the fact that this is a pretty full, impactful Home Depot with lots of plants to choose from and to look at. And you can see here, this is another Monstera deliciosa, really nice heart-shaped leaf. And then over here, we have another Alocasia calculata. This one is just a regular green variety. I was able to get one that was actually sport variegated, and I found like two, which I ended up just buying both of them. But this one right here looks like it has a little bit of sport variegation as well. So I don't know if this particular alocasia just has a little bit more sport variegation, or if this is just a batch that had a couple of like subtle variegation. Either way, beautiful plant. That one is for $29.98. And then we have several more plants from Proven Winner. So not only do they have a surplus of like Proven Winner plants indoors, but we have a bunch of them just that are just growing outdoors in that shaded area of Home Depot. But oh my gosh. Now, this is another plant find. Very, very, very excited. Oh my gosh, and I know you guys probably think this is silly, but this is another cordyline plant or Hawaiian tea plant that I have not been able to find. This is a specific one. This is a polished in pinstripes. Cordyline, I don't know if that's necessarily the actual name, but this is a cordyline I have been looking for quite some time. The root system looks pretty healthy, so this is one that I am definitely going to buy. Even though it is for $19.98, I do think that this is a small plant for that price. But wow, I did not expect to find this particular cordyline plant. So I'm just going to set down there and continue to look at plants. But I'm so excited I was able to find it. Actually, that is the very first time I've been able to find this particular cordyline plant. Here is another one. I do think I like the other one better just because it had larger leaves and it just looked a little bit more healthy. But very excited that I was able to find an unexpected plant. And you can see here they have another cordyline here. This polished in pinstripes is absolutely gorgeous. I love the yellow variegation, that magenta as well. Cordyline plants or cordyline Hawaiian tea plants are nice plants. They can get fairly large. So I'm actually interested to see how large that particular cordyline will get and whether I'm going to continue to grow it in hydroponics or maybe plant it in soil. So we'll see. But this is another syngonium here. This is obviously a very juvenile syngonium. Look at how cute it is. I actually would like to get miniature syngoniums like this, or at least keep their leaves that size. I think that's really cute. They make very good terrarium plants indeed. And this one I believe is for $4.99. So not a bad price at all. And then we've got several other plants to take a look at, like this China doll plant right here. This one is for $4.98. Not a bad price at all for a 4-inch planter. Now with China doll plants, I love them. They look stunning, but they are very thirsty plants. So I almost ended up like really damaging the leaves of my China doll plant that I bought at HEB, which is another grocery store out in Texas. I just forgot it, but look at this plant find. So excited about that. I know it sounds really silly, but that particular plant absolutely gives me joy, which brings me to a point. Plant foldies, what plants do you want or are on your wish list? Please leave that in the comments or in the live premiere chats. And then over here, we've got another Pilea peperomoides. I think that's how you pronounce it, for $8.98. This is also known as a Chinese money plant or a UFO plant. This used to be the IT plant. It used to be an expensive plant about 3 to 4 years ago. Now it's at a big box store for a reasonable price. And over here we have another beautiful syngonium for $8.98. I don't know the syngonium plant ID, but what I do know is this is a beautiful syngonium. I do want to influence you guys in buying some syngoniums as well. It's another easy to care for plant. So if you're going to ask me what specific plants I think that every plant foldie should buy, I would recommend a pink princess as well, $8.98. That's not a bad price at all, unless I read the plant pricing ID incorrectly. But the plants that I would recommend would be a syngonium, coleus, and aglaonema. Those 3 types of plants. And then over here we've got a philodendron moonlight, beautiful looking one. There's about 2 to 3 plants there, and I really do like the look of this particular philodendron. Notice how the new leaves come out that yellow neon color and then kind of deepen that dark green color. It's a nice looking plant. I love neon plants as well as I love the dark foliage plants. Nice looking one by Nature's Way again in a ceramic planter. And then we have another Aglaonema red Siam there. We've got other easy to care for plants here. We've got some Aglaonema Silver Bay. This one is in another larger planter. Love Aglaonema Silver Bay. And the thing about Aglaonema Silver Bay is it actually gets very large foliage leaves, can grow very large. And then we've got this nice looking Dracaena Steed Soul. This one is for $14.98. I like the specific variegation of this Dracaena just because at the bottom leaves have darker foliage, and then the newer leaves at the top have a lighter foliage or lighter variegation as well. So really like that a lot. Very easy to care for plant that Dracaena would be. And then over here we've got a Setosa Gray Star. I like the look of this particular Setosa as well. It is part of that prayer plant, that Marantha Calathea type plant. It is a little bit finicky as well if you don't give it the right watering conditions. And you can see right there, all of that red foliage is that cordyline Hawaiian tea plant here. And you can see that cordyline plants can get fairly large. I love the look of this plant. And even in the dark, when that light hits it, you can see that it's got a gorgeous looking pink maroon foliage to the leaves, and I really like that a lot. The only drawback about cordyline plants is if you try to grow them indoors, they are very much susceptible to spider mites. So it's really good to just grow these cordyline plants outdoors in full sun. Like I literally have one that I bought at Walmart for $5.84. It was the Island Bloom series, and it is growing very well for me. I haven't really seen cordyline Hawaiian tea plants, the green form like this. This is a cordyline plant as well. This one is for $19.98 in a 10-inch planter. That's an actually interesting looking plant. I don't really see cordyline plants that are green like this. Typically they have more color, but it is a nice looking plant. And that goes back to my saying that green plants are also beautiful. So please do not sleep on, green plants. Definitely put them in your plant collections because they will bring a lot of joy. And then over here, tons of succulents and cactus. They've got hanging baskets of succulent arrangements. Really love the look of these plants as well. Now, my only basic care tips for succulents would be plant them in a succulent cacti mix. You want fast draining soil. You want to keep their soil dry and give them a lot of light. Full sun is best, but also look at the heat conditions for these succulents. So I've learned that not all succulents really like hot conditions. So that's something that you might have to just do a little bit more research, but that's really the basic plant care tips I would have for succulents. But as you can see here, I'm going to pan on just different types of assorted succulents for you. Look at all of the gorgeous looking Vigoro hanging baskets. This one we've got a huge basket of Syngoniums right over here. I don't know the Syngonium plant ID, but they are massive and very thick. And then this one right over here, we've got a bunch of Epipremnum aureum neon pothos. It did just rain, so these plants just got some really good watering. And then this right over here is a Sunstress Hoya carnosa. Look at how beautiful that leaf is. Really love Sunstress looking Hoyas. Now, all of these Vigoro baskets, I believe, are for $19.84. Not a bad price at all if you want a hanging basket of a tropical plant. But you can see here, this is a gorgeous looking Hoya carnosa. And then I absolutely love this plant right here, this pink Syngonium. Again, I'm not sure what the plant ID is. And then here is another Syngonium hanging basket. So if you want a thick plant of Syngoniums, definitely go to Home Depot, at least this particular Home Depot. And these ones are for $19 $2.84. And then I can't get over the fact that this Sunstress Hoya looks so great. And then over here, we've got a bunch of different types of flowering plants. I just want to pan over here and just show you what they have. Again, I love plant shopping at night because there's literally nobody in the back outdoor section of this Home Depot. You can see we got several different types of flowers. I'm going to pan over here again and show you some more, but I was thinking about just how fast this community has grown over the last couple weeks, at least the last 2 weeks. So thank you again, Plant Foldies. I know I've mentioned this several times on the live premiere in the chat today, but I am so thankful that we actually have a nice community of people who continue to tune into all of the live premiere chats, and as well as just all of the videos that I've posted. I know we've got several new people here, so I wanted to say welcome again, and I hope that you guys will continue to share my plant shopping videos. There are a lot of plant YouTubers out there, and I actually watch a lot of these channels to get some more ideas and inspiration, but I do want to keep my channel about what plants I like, and basically it's all the plants. So you will always see different types of plants here. You will see a lot of these flowering plants as well, gardening plants, any type of plants you would like. Just make sure that you are leaving that in the comments. But as you can see over here, tons of gorgeous looking marigold flowers. I love marigold flowers. Found some marigold flowers for $1 in a 4-pack that was on clearance that I'm going to eventually just plant in a planter because I want to harvest the flowers for marigold tea. But as you can see, it is full-blown springtime, so all of these big box stores like Home Depot are just full of plants. Absolutely love all of the plants that I'm seeing so far. I'm also into the landscaping gardening niche as well, so you will see some of that content eventually. I will just probably slip in a few clips here and there during my plant shopping videos, but as you can see, I am just panning over and showing you all of these gorgeous looking plants. One plant I really like is this variegated ginger. Unfortunately, I haven't been successful at trying to grow that indoors. It really is a plant that really is meant to grow outdoors. And we've got a bunch of other boxwood bushes right over there. Those are really cool because you can actually shape them. And then we've got tons of caladiums. So caladiums have been a thing for me. It is becoming slowly a plant obsession for me when it comes to caladiums, just because they come in so many different varieties. You can see right over here, look at how gorgeous those white leaves are, and even the stems have a really nice coloration. Now caladiums, when grown indoors, they definitely need a lot of bright indirect light, warmer conditions to prevent them from really going into dormancy. They're very similar care to alocasia when grown indoors. Now when grown outdoors, they prefer to be in shade, so don't put them in full sun, otherwise they will burn. And then we've got another interesting flower right over here. But as you can see, tons and tons of flowers. I recently planted a bunch of lantana in my landscape just because with 100+ degree weather in Texas, I have to just prepare myself to have some plants that will actually tolerate and survive the very hot Texas heat. So for those that do not get those types of intense summers, let me know what kind of plants you are growing. And as you guys can see over here, they've got a sale going on for $12.98. Beautiful dahlia. So again, with dahlias, are they perennials or are they mostly annuals? Please leave that in the comments, or for anybody who's an expert with dahlias. I am curious and wanting to grow some dahlias in my plant collection. One plant that is hardy is those vincas right there. Those pink blooms are gorgeous. We've got a bunch of geraniums here, and then we've got some impatiens. Now, impatiens flowers have to be grown in shade unless they are what they call sun patients. But you can see what a full Home Depot we have over here. They've just got so many plants, racks and racks of plants. And so I'm just going to show you a couple more racks of plants here. Now, I do pose the question, which big box store do you like to shop at the most? Would it be Lowe's, Walmart, or Home Depot? I would really love for you guys to leave that in the comment section. I may do a poll, but just for the live premiere and also in the comment section, please leave your opinions and comments about which big box store you like. But you can see we've got tons of tropical plants here. And I did want to show you some of these proven winner caladiums. This is a little bit dark corner, but look at how gorgeous the leaves are, the colors are. Now, I do realize that some plant lovers are not really into all of this big, the big leaves with a lot of color. Some people might think caladiums, crotons, and even aglaonemas are a little bit jarring in their coloration, but I love it. More color from me brings me a lot of joy, and I love the plants that have a lot of color. But as you can see, nobody is here shopping, and if there is, it's maybe 1 or 2 people, and I have this whole outdoor section to myself. Now, people have asked me what kind of plant products I use in terms of like fertilizer. So I use Fox Farm liquid fertilizer for my indoor plants, but I also use the generic Miracle Grow fertilizer, the one in the 2020-21 mixture for my plants. For my plant nutrients, I even do like a little pinch of fertilizer to just give the plants in hydroponics a boost. So if you guys are curious of what kind of products I use for my plants, those are some of the products I use. I also use We the Wild neem oil spray, which is really exciting because they actually have their products available now at Target. So if you want to get that We the Wild neem oil spray, that's really good. Or you could try using the Foldy Mist. That is what I'm calling my DIY leaf spray. So you could try that recipe right there. I may do a short video documenting how to make that actual spray, or might actually insert a clip on one of my plant shopping videos. So please make sure you are staying tuned with that. But you can see here, lots of gorgeous looking cordyline Hawaiian tea plant. I like that wide form, and it's also got a very intense red about it. And then we just got more plants right over here. So super exciting. And you can see here, this is that Rhodea oyster plant. Love it a lot. This is by Vigoro Plants here. This one is for $5.48. I have mine growing in a container, and it is doing very well. My purple heart plant is also doing very well. So I love pink plants, purple plants, pretty much any plant, honestly. And I don't know, it's just awesome to be able to show you guys this massive Home Depot. So I hope that for whatever Home Depots you have in your part of the country, they are as full as the ones in North Dallas, because I tell you what, we are very fortunate in Dallas to have some really good places to go plant shopping. And then over here for $9.98, here's another lantana. I'm hoping that all of my lantana will get very large by the end of the summer, so I can see some really good blooms. And then you can see right here, this is that dark foliage plant. For some reason, I just can't really pronounce the name. There are some challenging plant names, but this one is particularly challenging. That one is really cool as well. I'm thinking about growing that in a container and maybe adding it into my dark foliage houseplant collection. And then over here, we've got some more plants. So let's look at these. So this is a pack of lantana plants. Let me know in the comment section if you actually grow lantana. What does that look like for you? Or is it really mostly people that live in the southern states or places that are really hot? I really like knowing what kind of plants you are growing, and that brings me to a point. If you're on Instagram and want a free Monstera Thai constellation, I am doing a giveaway. Just make sure you are following me at GrowFold. You're also liking the reel with the Monstera that I'm giving away and tagging a minimum of 3 people in the comment section of that reel for a chance to win. Now, the winner will be announced on May 18th, 10 p.m. Central Standard Time in my Instagram story. So best of luck to those that have joined. It has helped with some of the engagement and following, so hopefully we'll get some more plant foldies tuning in. But as you can see, lots of plants right over here. I'm super excited that I was able to find that very uncommon cordyline tea plant. I actually would love to collect more of those cordyline tea plants. It's just a little bit more challenging to find them. They typically just have the red cordyline tea plant, that Hawaiian tea plant. But you can see here lots of large ficus elastica Taniki. Look at that. Love that as well. Look at that variegation. Now, again, ficus, you have to give it a lot of bright light. Do not put them in a shaded area. Otherwise, they will not do as well. And then we've got some yucca plants right over here as I pan out. But yes, plant shopping at night. What is your opinion? And do you feel like I should do some more plant shopping videos at night, or do you prefer them during the day? Honestly, I could plant shop anytime, honestly, as long as I can get you guys that content. But I will pan out some more plants over here for y'all and just let you enjoy what I find. So we've seen lots of ground cover, and then also these gorgeous miniature sunflowers. We've got some canna lilies right over here with some more ground cover. And as you can see, this Home Depot really has a lot of stock. It's nice and organized. It's full and impactful. And it just brings me so much joy to be able to show you guys all of these different types of plants. Now for my plant foldies out in Canada, shout out to you guys. I hope that you guys get plants like this soon, because look at this right here, this big basket full of lantana. I love the yellow blooms here, and they're very good pollinator plants. You would want to go plant these around beds that if you want to get rid of weeds. Apparently they choke out weeds, so that's always a good thing. But evening, night shopping, very relaxing indeed. I can look at gorgeous plants like this. Look at this caladium here. Now caladiums, I believe, are not necessarily for everybody. For me, they are definitely a good plant for me, just because I like colorful plants. This one is for $8.98. Now with caladiums, again, you want to make sure that you are planting them outdoors in shade that gets like bright morning light. They do need some light as well, just to be able to get those intense colors. And over here, these are some more lantana plants. I am all about the lantanas outdoors. This one is for $9.98 by Vigoro Plants. This one has some beautiful blooms as well. And for those that live in very hot climates like Texas, you can grow those in full sun. That's what they really like, is full sun, and they will give you some gorgeous blooms. Super excited for that. And I've heard that lantana are perennials in at least my growing zone, which means I don't have to replant them year after year like some of the annuals. Now, people have mentioned that the coleus plant, for instance, is an annual plant. You can overwinter them, and I'm going to go discuss coleus plants a little bit more in detail later. But as I pass over all of these landscaping tropical plants, we even have a gorgeous rose tree right here. I'm actually debating on whether I should get a rose tree or a variegated rose bush to put out in my front yard, but this one actually has a beautiful looking rose. Look at that. They've got that subtle yellow at the very middle of the actual rose bloom. It's absolutely stunning. And then we've got some beautiful croton plants right over here as well. Look at that variegation. Croton petra is the actual croton. It is one of the more common crotons, and crotons are really one of those plants that they're very finicky and fussy, but if you love them, you love them. I love them, even though they're not necessarily the easiest plant for me to grow. But I really love the fact that these croton plants have some nice coloration as well. So, you know, it's one of those things where you make a decision on how much you love a plant. For me, I love that Hedera helix, or that Hedera helix English ivy. I really just like the leaf shape of it, and it's one of those plants. It's probably the most challenging indoor plant, or plant to grow indoors is what I meant. But as you can see here, we've got tons of different types of trees. The one tree I do want to highlight, and I actually saw this, is that variegated willow tree right here. This one is the one that I thought about getting. This was only for $89, planting it in the ground, but it does need shade. So this one is another type of tree, because look at that variegation right there. It's got that white variegation. I'm curious to see how it would do in Texas, though. I've never really seen these in our landscapes. But then again, when you go to a big box store like Home Depot, you can get some very cost-effective pricing for shrubs, trees, plants, all of that. And it becomes even more exciting as the season progresses. As you can see here, we've got a lot of different types of plants available to purchase. So for my plant foldies, let me know what plants you're growing in your outdoor landscape, if you have outdoor plants, and then currently what you are growing in your indoor plants. I do intend to create a Facebook page for our Grow Fold Plant Foldy community. I feel like that would be an easier way to interact with each other in case we don't have those consistent live premiere chats. I do appreciate you guys constantly really encouraging people to hit the like button. And if you have stayed this long in the video and haven't hit the like button, I hope my efforts to show you some gorgeous plants will allow you to just hit that like button for me. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm in pushing out my content to even more plant lovers like myself. So please make sure you are hitting that like button and also leaving comments. I literally will respond to every single comment that you guys provide on my YouTube videos, as well as some of my Instagram reels and Instagram posts. Instagram is starting to grow a little bit, so if you haven't already, please make sure you are participating in that Monstera Thai constellation. I have decided that I will be doing more plant giveaways. I'm thinking, for those that have seen my Syngonium tricolor red spot in my previous video, I'm going to get some propagations made out and also offer that Syngonium. It is a highly sought after Syngonium just because it's got some beautiful variegation, and I want that to be available for my plant foldies. In addition to that, I am, I've got a lot of seedlings of coleus plants, so if you're interested, I may do some giveaways for my plant foldies, and obviously origami paper cranes. If you guys like that, I will definitely send you some as well. But the next stop we're going to go to is HEB. So, night shopping. I love HEB. HEB is a Texas grocery store that is seen predominantly in Houston. That's really where it really started. You've got some in Austin and now in North Dallas. Super excited. I get a lot of my groceries also at HEB, and I like the fact that their hours are a little bit late. They close at 11. So typically I will get here a little bit later when there's less foot traffic, because if you go during the day, HEB is popping. And when I say popping, they've got so many people shopping, and they've got a full-blown garden center. Like, they've got a Texas backyard area, and you can see here, this is a massive store with some beautiful plants. And I would say HEB has probably one of the most cost-effective pricing that you will see for plants. Like, look at these wax begonias. These are in huge tubs for only $9.97. Gorgeous looking dark foliage leaf. It's got a shiny satin finish about it. And then this one is the Viking extra large begonia. What I like is it is grown in Texas. So I love HEB for supporting local. They source most of their plants locally. There are a couple of exceptions, but for the most part, HEB is all about locally grown items from Texas, the great state of Texas. I love Texas. It's just a really nice state to live at in terms of just getting a lot of diversity of plants. Now, would I say that Texas is the best climate for certain plants that we want to grow? Absolutely not. The 100-degree weather is insane. We went 2 months straight with no rain, and that was kind of scary because it's really hard to maintain your garden with that. But you can see here, they've got this coleus plant here for $5.99. It is slightly leggy. What I would do is actually trim off a lot of the top growth and then have it just regrow, because that's the reason why I like coleus plants, not only because they have so many different varieties, different colors, but it is a vigorous grower. And when I mean vigorous grower, like literally you can just chop this up to the most bottom part of this coleus plant and it will grow new foliage within 2 weeks. So really like that a lot. I love the fact that coleus plants are easy to propagate. I have been steadily collecting different ones. I'm actually in contact with somebody in Europe to possibly be able to get me some more coleus hybrids. So stay tuned for that. But as you can see here, HEB, $12.97. You can get a large canna lily. Canna lilies are gorgeous, and it is one of those plants that you can grow in full sun. And then I really like this bush, and I might end up buying it and putting it in my landscape. Look at how gorgeous the yellow and green variegation is. This is by Garden Debut. Really love the look at this particular shrub, and I really didn't do a lot of landscaping this year except in my backyard. I do need to update my front yard. There was one Japanese maple that did not make it through the winter, and it was really disappointing because it was an Acer palmatum red emperor, which can tolerate light, like really direct sunlight, at least in Texas weather. And for some reason, it just didn't make it through the winter. And so that was a little bit disappointing. But we've got some Ocean Forest Fox Farm soil. I have heard really good reviews with that, so I may end up getting a bag just to see if it works well for me. The soil I actually use for all of my plants, even indoors, outdoors, is a actual soil called tree and shrub soil from Lowe's, of all places. I can get a really nice bag for just $7, and I mix it with perlite. I put orchid bark in it to make it more chunky depending on what plant I'm doing, putting in soil. But I love that particular soil, and it's very cost effective. But I want to try Fox Farm soil. So for those that have used Fox Farm soils, let me know in the comments. Again, I love hearing about what you're doing with your plants. And for those that have actually sent me pictures of their plant collection on Instagram, absolutely appreciate that. Keep those coming. And in this one right here, look at this gorgeous dahlia here, and this is only for $5.99. You get a huge dahlia right here. I want to grow some dahlias. I do think that they need to be in full sun, and I'm just excited. It's a twofold thing. Most of my maple trees that are growing, my Shantung maple, Acer truncatum, Fire Dragon has put on a lot of growth, as well as my ginkgo biloba tree. So there's actually full shade now in the afternoon sun. So I'm able to grow some more shaded type plants like azaleas, but now it's taking away from some of my full sun type varieties. So it's interesting how your landscape can change depending on your trees and how much shade is provided by them. But you can see there, we've got some fig trees. I'm actually wanting to get a fig tree. So we'll see if that happens for me. There's just a lot of plants I want to get. Every time I go plant shopping, there's something new. But as you can see here at this HEB, they've got quite a bit of a selection of plants, and I love it. Now, I have been doing a lot of big box store plant shopping. I do notice that most of my local plant shopping videos, like when I show plant nurseries in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, doesn't get nearly as many views. So I did want to ramp up on some of the big box store plant shopping videos for y'all. I guess that's what, you guys are telling me, that that's the kind of the content you want to see. However, Plant Foldies, if you haven't already, please make sure you are looking at that Plant Keeper Incorporated plant shopping tour that I did. It was a video I uploaded about 2 days ago. It's really cool. And for those that have found my YouTube channel from the Instagram Montserrat Thai Constellation giveaway, welcome to my channel. I do 1 hour plant shopping videos where I talk about plant names, plant care, plant insights, and also just anything plant related. As you can see here, these are all for $6. This is the Premium Foliage Series by HEB. So we've got a Sansevieria or a snake plant. Really like the look at this particular Sansevieria. It's really a beautiful looking plant. And then right over here, we've got some Hedera Helix, English Ivy, or what I call Hydra Helix. I love me some Hydra Helix. Really love English Ivy, and I just love the variegation. And you can see right here, this Hedera Helix or English Ivy has an interesting variegation. I would say with English Ivy, they're really best to be grown outdoors. For some reason, when they grow outdoors in a shaded area, they do very well. They are not fussy plants, because when you take an English Ivy indoors, something about them makes them a spider mite a spider mite magnet, and you don't really want to invite spider mites to your plant collection. But as you can see right here, this is another Hydra Helix. This one has a little bit larger foliage, and I do like the variegation is more on the edges of the leaves. Love the shape of Hedera Helix English Ivy. And this one is a variegated ginger. It's called a shell ginger, but I've never seen one that in juvenile form. Look at that right there. It's mostly green, but it looks like as it gets older and the leaves get larger, you'll get that variegation. I would love to be able to grow a variegated ginger indoors, just because I love that striping variegation. But unfortunately, just like that Hydra Helix, I'm not able to do that, just because they get a little bit more. Oh, look at that. Isn't that a great save? Did you see that? You saw that, didn't you? Yeah, that Peperomia Golden right here almost fell over. Glad that I caught it. But I bought this particular one as well from HEB. It's an easy to care for plant. I've noticed that actually I don't really focus on peperomias, but peperomias have been giving me a lot of joy. They're really easy plants to take care of, and they're one plant that I wouldn't mind growing more of, just because they haven't been so finicky for me. I bottom water all of my peperomias just because I feel like that's easier to do. And then right over here, we've got a tradescanthia. So I will tell you a little thing about tradescanthia. So I've seen some of these tradescanthias have like broken limbs that have fallen literally on the floor at like a big box store. And I know it sounds silly, but I have asked the staff if it's possible for me to take one of those, you know, broken limbs home. They typically look at me crazy, but they're like, yeah, if you want to see, you know, if you want to take that home, it's going to go in the trash anyway. And I have been able to propagate some of those tradescanthia or some of these cuttings or things that have fallen over and broken off of plants and propagated them. So I'm all about that free plant. There was a specific YouTuber that did this one video called how to get free plants called prop lifting. Obviously I'm not, you know, taking cuttings from the actual plant at a big box store, but if I see it on the ground and it's on the floor and they know that they're going to throw it away, I will just ask the staff if they will let me just take that little tiny piece of the plant home and I propagate it. So that's just kind of interesting. I've only done it like once, and it's one of those things where I might ask a little bit more, but we'll see. One plant find I wanted to highlight is these Alocasia Saurion. So I haven't ever seen an Alocasia Saurion really offered outside of like a local plant nursery, and that's for $6. I might be interested, but you can see right here there is a broken limb here of that tradescanthia, and then we'll go back to that. But you can see here this is a string of pearls. Really love the look of string of pearls. It's a nice looking plant, and it's a plant that I would be interested in actually growing at some point. I want the variegated one, you know, string of pearls. Think of pearls, right? Philippines is known for pearls. I'm Filipino, kind of get that correlation, but I'm going to actually stick this back in soil just because I feel like it may have a chance to propagate itself, and then that plant may actually grow a little bit more full. But that's the thing about those types of tradescanthia, they can get very leggy. This is another peperomia that I think is really cute just because it's a green one, but look at the triangular leaf shape that it has. I really like that a lot, or actually more of a diamond leaf shape. And then what else do we have over here? For my Hoya lovers, look at this. I don't know what this Hoya is, but it's a gorgeous looking Hoya for $6, and it's showing that the bloom is going to be more of a yellow bloom. Recently I was able to find a variegated Hoya compacta in bloom, and the blooms were absolutely stunning. They were a pink bloom, and I hope that someday my Hoya will bloom as well. Hoya blooms are fragrant, they're gorgeous, absolutely stunning. And then this one right here is another Hoya. You can see there is some variegation to this, so this might actually be potentially a Hoya Lisa. I'm not sure, but it's mostly green. Now all of these Hoya that I'm picking up are for $6. I don't think that is a bad price at all for Hoya. Honestly, HEB, if you have one in your Texas city, I would definitely go shopping at HEB. I get a lot of my plants there, and you can see this Hoya is interesting. I don't know if it's a pest that did it, but this Hoya looks like somebody just made textures on the leaves, or maybe it fell on something, but that's quite interesting, unless that Hoya is how it grows. But you can see there is another Hoya that has that look as well, so I don't know what caused those indentions. Pretty cool looking though, and I like the texture of it. And then we have some more fern plants here. This is a really cool type of tradescanthia. This is a Calesia, actually fern turtle vine. This is called a turtle vine in a hanging basket. But the only thing about this particular plant is it does get leggy very quickly. So you want to pinch back the growth so you can encourage more growth. I do like plants like the coleus plant. Again, I will refer back to it as a plant that you can pinch back or cut back aggressively, and it will just bounce back and actually give you more full foliage. Over here is another Chiflera. This is a Chiflera amato. Really like the look of the Chiflera amato. It's a nice looking plant. It's got a very just green presentation, obviously. And then we have some really nice looking hydrangeas here. So this hydrangea kind of has some interesting texture going on here. Not sure what's going on with that, but I do love hydrangeas. I wish I could grow hydrangeas. It is another plant that is making it very difficult for me to grow in my landscape because of my the temperatures and the weather we have out in North Dallas. But you can see lots of plants here. HEB does get a lot of their large foliage plants from Costa Farms. I swear Costa Farms is everywhere, and I don't know if they've just got a really good marketing team or provider, but every single big box store, grocery store has a Costa Farm plant. And as you can see right here, now I'm out in the Texas backyard. I don't really know the schedule in terms of what plants are restocked for HEB, but HEB for me is only like a 5-minute drive from where I'm based at, so this is easy access for me to check out. But you can see here, these are all for $2.97, assorted cactus and succulents. So I have been given some more requests to feature more of those, so I'm doing my best to really give you guys the content that you want to see. There are a couple of things, like I definitely want to keep my Hydra Helix way of pronouncing my Hedera Helix, but otherwise anything else that you guys want to see in terms of the content, please let me know in the comments. I definitely want to cater to the different types of plants that you might be more prone to grow. Obviously, I don't know as much about succulents. I am willing to learn, so if there are some succulent varieties or cactus that I should take a look at, please leave that in the comments. I would really like to start looking at those specifically. But you can see here, this is surprisingly the Rescue Me or the clearance section of the plants. So there was a bunch of Costa Farms exotic angels a little while back, and it looks like a lot of them did not sell, at least the ferns. Most of them did, and you can see here, this is a sad Croton Mame. This one is for $1.99. This one, I still wouldn't pay $2 to it. I would love to rescue it, but that is such a finicky plant, and most of these plants are pretty much on the brink of death, which is really sad. And you can see over here, like, I'm not going to spend $9.73 though for that assorted basket of succulents. I would rather just pay full price for it and have a healthier plant, because if you buy clearance plants or plants that are about to die, the potential of them having a lot of different types of pests is a lot higher, and you don't want that for your plant collection. It's not worth the cost-effective pricing if it's going to cause more of a headache for you, if that makes sense. And you can see right here, this is some type of Echeveria. Look at how gorgeous it is. It's got an iridescent look about it. It's got a ghostly look about it. And this one is another type of jade or a Crusala plant right here. I really like that a lot. Very cute looking one. I am going to be starting to collect jade plants, specifically ones that have that tricolor variegation. So the ones with pinks and creams, I'm all about that. And I'm definitely going to go ahead and see if I can get some of those on film, and also to buy them as well. So lots of plants. We've got another jade plant right over here. I love the look of this specific jade plant. This is just a common one. Even a common jade plant like this is something that I think everybody should buy. And now I am now inside looking at some of these Max and Miles plants. So Mother's Day is just around the corner. I used to have this plant. I don't know the plant ID for this. It's almost related to a Tradescanthia, but I really do love the silver foliage of it. It is a vigorous grower. This one is for $10.98. I really love plants from HEB because they offer different varieties of plants. Like I was able to find a silver band Marantha. I never bought it, but it was one of those Maranthas that are uncommon. And then you can see common plants like this, but look at how healthy this coffee plant is. This is also for $10.98. I wouldn't mind growing a coffee plant because I love the texture of the leaves. And that goes to show that certain plants, even just plain green ones, and I say plain green ones, the natural green ones is a better way to phrase it. They just bring you joy. Greenery for me, just looking at anything green or plants is really good for your mood, your mental health. Let me know in the comments if you agree, but like right over here, we've got an Epipremnum aureum. Enjoy. So we just talked about how Enjoy is a little bit more difficult to find in a lot of stores, but this is a legitimate Enjoy pothos. What I like about the Enjoy pothos is look at that variegation. And if you were to grow this up a totem pole, if you missed my PlantCon 2024 video, there was a mature version of Enjoy pothos. It looked awesome. It looked like an alternative for a Monstera albo. So just, take a look at that. We also have this Epipremnum aureum Marble Queen pothos. It's got a really good look as well. Really love the look of that. And it's just stunning. I love that variegation. That cream variegation is beautiful. And then what else do we have going on here? We've got even more plants here. We've got some type of Dieffenbachia, and then we have a bunch of assorted succulents. Again, I'm not really versed in the succulent, so if you know this particular succulent's plant ID, leave in the comments with a timestamp so that way we can all learn if you don't know. And then this is some type of echeveria right here. I do like the form of this particular succulent. It is a common succulent, and I don't know the pricing for it, but I would assume this is also for $10.98. And we just have more assorted plants at this HEB. But you can see here, you can go grocery store plant shopping and get some amazing plants from HEB. This is one of my go-to places. I've found some really nice plants and ones that are pretty cost effective. I also like the presentation of HEB. They've always got some healthy plants, and if they don't, they typically mark them down quickly so that way they will sell. But you can see here we've got some other plant. I'm not sure what this plant is. It does have some very delicate looking foliage. I like that a lot. And what else do we have? We've got all of these for $5.98. We've got some type of peperomia. This one is in bloom, so notice those like rat tail looking shoots off there. Those are actually the stems of a peperomia. Really like the look of this one as well. I have a peperomia red luna that is doing very well for me. It's not really a fussy plant. And then we've got a peperomia rousseau right here. And this is one that I would actually see at Kroger grocery store often. Now this one is also for $5.98. That is not a bad price at all. And then we've got a bunch of Tradescanthia nanuk. So I love pink plants. I think the majority would agree that you guys also love pink plants, but look at how beautiful this is, and look at the undersides of this Tradescanthia. Very easy to plant to take care of as well. It does require a little bit of bright indirect light if you don't want it to get leggy. And honestly, even the tops of this Tradescanthia, if I were to take it home, I would trim it back because it's starting to get a little bit tall and leggy. It will be a little bit more bushy if you do that. It's easy to propagate. I was able to propagate from my Tradescanthia, so I'll have another free plant to possibly give away or just add to my collection. But as you can see here, beautiful coloration on the Tradescanthia nanuk. I've seen this a lot. I would say a couple years back, this was a little bit more expensive of a plant. And that's what brings me to the point of how certain plants, I just don't want to spend that money because they're easy to propagate. So when it comes to like rare syngonium, I will make some exceptions. Rare pothos plants, I will make some exceptions. But for the most part, I have learned that in order for me to save money on plants, it's always better to have patience, because plants in general will reduce its pricing, especially for those like it plants, hard to find plants, aeroids. They will always go down in price as they become a little bit more readily available. Now, something that is always readily available and is always in grocery stores are miniature roses. I love the look of miniature roses. There is something about them, and I've asked this question that have you actually planted a miniature rose in your landscape? And there have been a couple of plant foldies that have shared that they have grown them in landscape, so that's really cool. Miniature roses long-term indoors, I don't know if they would necessarily do well, because roses in general need to be in full sun. They like the heat. They're a little bit more prone to aphids and pests if they don't have those type of growing conditions. But as you can see here, lots of blooming plants. We've got cyclamen, kalanchoe, and Kalia lilies. What a gorgeous looking green philodendron. I'm not 100% sure what this particular philodendron is, but needless to say, again, green plants need just as much love as those variegated plants. Although you guys, it seems like really do cater to some of these variegated plants. I will say, no matter how rare a plant is or how sought after a plant is, if you are like me, I like plants because certain ones have just characteristics. So I'll refer back to my love for aglaonemas. I still don't understand why we're not talking about aglaonemas on YouTube or even social media. It is an amazing plant. And then I'm surprised that there's not a big coleus following cult. Like literally, I love coleus plants and they're so easy to grow. I'm really trying to influence you guys, plant foldies, really try a coleus plant because you can grow them indoors. Just make sure you give them a lot of light. And the thing about it is one of those plants that will continue to give you free cuttings year after year. Like Philodendron orchids, for instance, we're looking at all of these Philodendron orchids by Max and Miles, which is the primary plant sourcer for HEB. They've just got so many different types of Philodendron orchids. And here is another find. So I love this. This is actually a plant I would love to buy. This is another Philodendron White Princess. It is part of the Fairy Tale collection by Max and Miles. Look at that. Isn't that a perfect look for this Philodendron Pink Princess. Isn't she lovely? I think she's lovely. She's got some really balanced out variegation. Look at that one leaf on the left, and it's unfurling another one with some speckling on it. Now these ones I believe are for $25, which I don't think is a bad price at all. Now Growers Bench also sells these Philodendron White Princess, but I'm gonna have to give it to HEB. I've got to give it to Max and Miles. They have the better looking Philodendron Pink Princess. The ones you would find at Walmart, you don't necessarily see this type of variegation on this Philodendron White Princess. And you can see over here, this is another gorgeous looking Philodendron White Princess. I would buy this one in the first one I picked up. You notice how this one has some even variegation. Heck, I might actually go back and spend money to get another Philodendron White Princess specifically because of that variegation. And the thing is, with Philodendron White Princess alongside with Philodendron Pink Princess, you can see this one doesn't have nearly as great variegation. A lot of its variegation is actually influenced by the initial genetics of the plant, which means you want to get one that already has a lot of good variegation with a higher chance of getting even more consistent variegation, if that makes any sense. And then over here we've got some tiny cute looking succulents right here. This is some type of echeveria. I'm not 100% sure what the pricing is, but you can see these common blooming anthuriums. These red ones are the most common that you'll see. I am growing mine actually in hydroponics. And then they've got some begonia maculatas, again by Max and Miles. Now these ones I believe are for like $19.84 as well, close to the same price you would pay for a Costa Farms Trending Tropical. And then we've got another type of alocasia right over here. Alocasias are gorgeous, but I've decided that alocasias are really meant to just be grown outdoors in a shaded patio that gets you good morning light, because growing them indoors are a little bit finicky. So I'm starting to move a lot of my alocasias outdoors, at least for the spring and summer. And you can see here another Philodendron Birkin. This one isn't as variegated. So with Philodendron Birkin, I'm a little bit more picky about what type of Philodendron I bring into my home. Anyhow, plant folies, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.